Okay, we are back for another rant. Oh my god. Oh my god, how do I miss this? I miss doing this. Because the last time I did a rant, that was back on May 18th, 25, when the Leafs got booted out by the Florida Panthers. And that hurt. It really does hurt. And the Panthers are going back to the Cup Finals, which also sucked. And now we're here doing another rant for yet another Stanley Cup Final rant. This time, we get the Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers again. How do I put this into words, man? A rematch. Okay, it's not bad. It's a rematch from 2024. And thank God the Oilers beat the Stars. And they're cup bound. They're going back to the Stanley Cup Final. That is a good thing. And you know what? I like it. But on the other side, absolute no. Because out of all the teams you come up with, the Florida Panthers are going back to the Cup Finals? Again? Why is this happening? Why do we even get the Panthers going back to the Cup Finals again? This ain't Tampa Bay. This ain't the Golden State Warriors. The Florida Panthers, out of all teams, are going back to the Cup Finals, but not the Leafs. Like, come on, man. That's not even fair. That's just wrong. It's just bullcrap. It's just insane. Absolute bull. I mean, how are the Panthers back in the Cup Finals? They beat Tampa Bay. They injured Victor Hedman. Then, in the Toronto series, they beat my Leafs, making the Leafs blow a 2-0 series lead, and the Panthers injured, what's his face again? Anthony Stolarz by Sam Bennett. And now, they beat the Hurricanes, and now they're back in the Cup Final. Like, that's insane. How is that even fair? How is that possible? The Panthers, out of all teams? Come on, man. After trying to hate the Florida Panthers, I hate the Panthers, don't get me wrong, but after trying my darnest to have the Panthers out of the playoffs, nothing went my way. Nothing. Not even a single game. Not even a single one went my way this year. I tried so many times to have a good Cup Finals matchup. I tried I tried Leafs Flames in 2022, and that didn't work out. We got Avalanche Lightning for a 3-peat, obviously. And then, of course, I tried Leafs Jets, which could have been the best finals, and that turned into Panthers Knights, deeming the worst Stanley Cup final in NHL history. And then, of course, you get the Leafs and the Canucks. I know this may be a controversial one, but at this point, I don't care. For Leafs Canucks for Oilers Panthers, which I do not mind that. And now we got, again, Leafs Oilers for Panthers Oilers. Are you kidding me, man? Look, don't get me wrong. The Oilers deserve to be in the Cup Finals. They deserved it, but they also earned their spot in the Cup Finals. I love to see the Oilers go to the Cup Finals. But for the Panthers, out of all teams, out of all the teams you pick, they gotta be the Florida Frauds. Those fraudulent Florida Panthers, the defending Stanley Cup champions, or as I like to call it, the most undeserving Stanley Cup champions in recent memory. They're trying to look for a dynasty here, and you know what? That really pissed me off. It's the Panthers. All they do is just cry to the refs, have calls go their way. Okay? They cry to the refs, have calls go their way, and injure players. Like, they want to be dirty and they want to be aggressive. But they made it this far with the help of the referees. It's just so insane that out of all the teams you can think of, the Florida Panthers made the Cup Finals, but not the Leafs. That's not saying enough. That's not saying much, dude. Like, oh my god. Oh my god. I don't know how to put this into words, man. This thing is insane. Like, well, at least the Panthers did the defending Stanley Cup champions, and you also get Bobrovsky and crew. The only problem is you have the refs. That's my main concern. The Panthers' main problem here is that they got the refs involved. You cry to the refs every time, left and right, left and right. Oilers don't do that. I've said it before in 2024, and I'm saying it here a year later, the following year. Yes, I know I went a little ballistic, but my god, the Panthers? Are you kidding me? Why not the Leafs? It could have been a Stanley Cup Final matchup That would have been the best one with McDavid versus Matthews. That would have been awesome. But no, instead we had to replace the Leafs for the Florida Frauds. Out of all the teams you can think of, it's got to be the Florida Panthers. Out of all the teams, it's got to be the Florida Frauds. What is this, man? What is this, man? Okay, that's a little too bright. I don't give a crap. What is this, man? What is this, man? The Panthers going to the Cup Finals? This isn't Golden State, and they're trying to go for a Stanley Cup repeat. Man, that's some bull. I don't care. That's absurd. That's insane. I don't feel like the Panthers deserve to be in the Stanley Cup Final yet again. That's the third time in a row that the Panthers made the Stanley Cup Finals, and it is so absurd. I mean, come on now. I've tried everything. Here. I tried going for Leafs Flames 2022. Nope. Didn't happen. I went for Leafs Jets. That didn't happen. I went from Leafs Canucks. That didn't happen. And now I went for Leafs Oilers. For this. Like, that's a joke. I've tried every Stanley Cup Final matchup I'm trying to make here. I tried going for Leafs tried going for Leafs Oilers. But nope. Gary Bettman had to ruin it. Had to just replace it with some finals matchup that obviously it's going to either be a good ending or a bad ending. Like, come on, dude. And the Panthers, out of all teams, I don't understand. They go back to the Cup Finals, but not the Leafs. The Toronto Maple Leafs, out of all teams, that's the team I was rooting for to win the Stanley Cup. They had their defense bolstered with Chris Tanev and OEL, bringing Carlo to fix up the D, bringing Scott Lockton to fill up some role playing here. And it results in a second round loss to those Florida Frauds, those Florida Panthers, and they go back to the Cup Finals. It's freaking insane. And the NHL, man, is absurd. And the fact that the Panthers are going back to the Cup Finals, it just drives me nuts. And it hurts. And I want to see the Leafs in the Stanley Cup Final. Nope. The Leafs are still in Cancun. They're golfing when I know they shouldn't. And now this sucks. Is this 100% absurd? It's freaking hideous. And all I want in return is a Stanley Cup to come back to Canada. I don't care if it comes back to Toronto or Edmonton. I just want it back in Canada. I've said it before and I said it again. You get two. And I'll go for that before that. But before that, I say that. You get two endings. You get the good ending or you get the bad ending. Last year we got the bad ending and the Panthers winning the Stanley Cup. I don't understand why it's the good ending because the Panthers didn't deserve to win the Stanley Cup. So you got two endings. Again, I said it before and I'll say it again. You got two endings. You get the good ending or you get the bad ending. You get the Oilers winning the Stanley Cup, which is the good ending, or you get those Florida Frauds going back to back, which could be the bad ending. And if the Panthers repeat as Stanley Cup champions, oh boy, I'm going to freaking lose my cool, because the Panthers don't deserve to go on a Stanley Cup repeat. That should have been the Leafs, but no, it didn't. And Edmonton, please, man. Please win against the Florida Panthers. Please. The Leafs didn't beat the Panthers in round 2. Just please, Edmonton. Please win the Stanley Cup. Don't let the Panthers destroy you again. You're Canada's only hope. You're the NHL's only hope here. You're our only hope here. Please, Edmonton. Please win. I just don't want to have history repeat itself. Just win against those Florida Panthers. Please, I'm begging you. Please, man. Please. That's all I'm asking. Please.